Hey, it's Jake Larson. Listen, if you'd told me a year ago I'd be dodging bullets with my grandpa at 3 in the morning, I'd have laughed you out of the room. But here I am, telling you how a so-called compliance check at our family cabin nearly ended with a body count. All because some guys picked the wrong old man to mess with. Yeah, that really happened. Three goons in tactical gear kicked in our cabin door at Willow Lake, northern Minnesota, 3:17 a.m. My heart still jumps just thinking about that number. They figured they'd scare a grieving tech guy and his grandpa into giving up the land. But, you know, people always assume they know what's going on behind closed doors. Spoiler alert, they had no idea. 6 months before that night, I was just drifting, 32, stuck in Minneapolis IT jobs, parents suddenly gone in a car wreck that made no sense. Highway 52, semi-truck runs a red light, and my world caves in. Cabin on Willow Lake became my hiding place. You know, the one spot that still smelled like childhood, coffee on the porch, loons calling at dawn, that kind of thing. Grandpa Walt showed up after the funeral, offering to help keep the place up, as he called it, though I always thought he just needed company. Or maybe I did. He shuffled around with his sore joints, asked me to reach jars, made coffee like it was a sacred duty, and every night, we watched dusty old John Wayne tapes. Walt felt safe. Safe and a little boring. Except, it turns out, he wasn't. Weeks before the break-in, we'd started getting weird letters from the Willow Lake Preservation Board. Never heard of them, but they kept talking about dock violations, threatening fines, sending urgent compliance notices. I wrote it off as small-town bureaucracy gone wild. You know the type. We're just following regulations. But that night, when the door flew open in a hail of splinters and flashlight beams, when three masked men stormed in with fake badges and louder mouths, I realized this wasn't about paperwork. The so-called leader, Mitch Carver, he struts in with a bulletproof vest and a smirk like he's auditioning for a TV cop drama, shouting about emergency shoreline inspections, and waving a piece of paper that wouldn't fool a half-blind sheriff's deputy. His two goons fanned out, blocking exits, flashlights sweeping over family photos, dust motes, shadows jumping across the walls. I was reaching for my phone when Walt just stepped into the hall, calm as an Arctic lake, holding a Springfield rifle steady as if it weighed nothing at all. Right then, I swear, the air got cold, the kind of cold that presses down on your bones. Walt, who I'd watched struggle with his knees, straightened up like he was 30 again. His voice didn't even shake. "You boys picked the wrong house," he said, "and the wrong man." Mitch's confidence cracked. Just a flicker, but it was there. His eyes darted between Walt's rifle and his own guys. Realizing this wasn't going by the script, that I was frozen. Watching the old man I thought I knew call out every bluff. "Where's your badge number? What judge signed this? What agency kicks down doors at 3 a.m. without announcing?" Walt's questions landed like punches. Mitch started to sweat, his tough guy routine falling apart. Suddenly it hit me. All those security upgrades Walt made weren't because he was a paranoid grandpa. The new locks, the reinforced windows, the hidden cameras. He was preparing for this. Then, out of nowhere, Walt turned to me and said, "Your dad knew why this place mattered, Jake. He wanted to tell you, but these idiots forced our hand." My stomach dropped. What was he talking about? I had no idea, but the fear in Mitch's eyes said he did. Suddenly, this was way bigger than code violations. Walt pointed at a loose floorboard by the fireplace. "There," he said. My hands shook as I pried it up. An envelope, my name, my mom's handwriting. I was still trying to process that when headlights swept through the windows. More of Mitch's guys arriving. Boots crunching on gravel. The letter inside was dated 2 weeks before my parents' crash. "If you're reading this, Jake, something's happened. Walt had to show you the truth early. We meant to wait till your birthday. You'd be ready then." The letter laid everything out. Walt wasn't just a retired builder. He'd been recruited in 1951 for classified government work. His job was to guard things the government couldn't risk losing, to keep them hidden, safe. The cabin wasn't just a family getaway. It was a safe house, storing documents, tech, even artifacts too risky to keep in official hands. My parents were part of it. Their deaths, the letter said, weren't random that I barely had time to read before Walt barked. To the kitchen, Jake, now stay low. Shots rang out, glass shattered, Mitch's crew moving in. I ducked behind the counter, clutching the letter like a lifeline. The cabin wasn't a retreat, it was a fortress. Every detail, from the reinforced doors to the basement layout, designed for defense. Walt sent me downstairs, told me to activate a beacon behind the water heater, a panic alarm for old government contacts. No going back now, he said. The basement, man, I'd thought it was just storage for fishing poles and paint cans. Turns out, it was a mini command center, racks of rifles, radios, even a battered sat phone. I hit the beacon, grabbed a pistol, and headed back up, my heart about to explode out of my chest. Walt held the hallway like a man possessed, motion sensors pinging, tracking the mercenaries' every move. They're not cops, he yelled, firing through the door. They work for a defense contractor, after what we're guarding. The gunfight was chaos, bullets thudding into walls, Walt moving with a precision that made my skin crawl. Then, out of nowhere, the real feds arrived, choppers slicing the night, agents fast roping into the yard, barking orders. Mitch's crew folded in minutes, their fake preservation board exposed for the scam it was. Walt checked the agents' IDs, rattling off a protocol from memory, and the relief in his eyes told me he'd been waiting for this showdown for decades. 3 weeks later, the cabin's quiet again. The feds hauled off the secret files, and I'm left staring at Willow Lake, wondering who the hell I really am now. Walt doesn't pretend anymore. No more shuffling, no more fake arthritis. He's a soldier, always was, and now, somehow, I am too. The second letter from my parents came a few days later. We're proud of you, Jake, my mom wrote. You chose to fight. You're ready to carry this on. Turns out Mitch and his team were working for a private contractor in D.C., trying to get their hands on whatever secrets my family had been hiding for 70 years. The arrests cracked open a scandal, but that's another story for another day. For now, I'm just a guy trying to make sense of a world that suddenly feels a lot bigger, a lot more dangerous, and a lot less lonely. Sometimes I catch Walt watching me with that old soldier's gaze, and I get it now. How heavy secrets can be, how hard it is to know when to trust, when to fight, when to walk away. You know what I mean? Maybe you've got stories like this too, secrets, legacies, stuff your family never talked about. So tell me, what would you do if you found out everything you thought you knew about your family was a lie? Would you fight, or run, or just try to live like nothing happened? Let's talk. Drop your story in the comments, because honestly, the wildest truths are the ones hiding in plain sight.